What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking at the cheap meta beasts that are in the Premier League in each position. So we've gone with a 4-3-3, and in terms of the goalkeeper, as you can tell, it's going to be Jackie Butland. So 89 rated, 5-star, 5-star. Yeah, it's just an extra little win on that one. To be honest, you could go with Butland, Allison, Edison, but I thought having a little special goalkeeper in net is always a little bit more fun. We don't get many of them. They have decided to kind of bring them back into rotation, which I'm all for. It is annoying again. We kind of remember back in FIFA 19, FIFA 18, where it was just promo, you got the keeper. But again, I will absolutely take fodder with any pinch of salt. Jack Butland's coming in at 57k. He is 6'5". We have no traits on him, which is the only thing that I don't like, but I know full well that this keeper definitely makes some big saves. Not much to say on him other than go for the three keepers that I just mentioned, and we'll see which one wins for you. I recommend using SkyCoach at skycoach.gg. Link will be in the description, and make sure on your checkout to use the code JT11 for a discount on your order. In at right back, it's always got to be Kyle. The 85 rated gold card could definitely still be your right back today. It's coming in at about 14,000 coins, and honestly, he just always is very good. His pace is elite. He's got good physicals. Obviously, the defending needs a little bit work, but we can get that chem style, for instance, an anchor, giving him 95, I think 94 or 95 pace, 85 to 86 defending, as well as a physical boost. Little bit less on the composure now, so we are seeing more full right backs with everything, the passing, the dribbling, the pace, the defending, the physical. But in terms of cheap, most rated right backs you can get, Walker has always got to be that shout, and obviously he does have an upgrade if you wanted to go one step further. That one's coming in a little bit more expensive, but most definitely will give you everything on that pitch, and I think he's coming in about 500 to 600,000 coins. Centre back number 1, and to be honest, I do want to see what price we're actually sitting at now with him, because he is necessarily cheap for a gold card. He's 77,500 coins, and I guarantee you, you will never look back on this card. He is just incredible. If you did so happen want to go for his 92, it is 1,000,000 coins, which for a double upgrade, I'm just not willing personally to pay. This card will get you until Team of the Season by an absolute landslide. To be honest, he probably could go even further, but you more than likely will get somebody that you want to try out in Team of the Season or the build up to it. FUT Birthday normally has a few decent players as well, but this is most definitely the best gold centre-back you can physically get. So no matter how expensive he is, he's always going to be worth it. And I think 77k for a centre-back that you will never have to change, I think that's a pretty good deal. We've obviously got the sprint speed on him. We've gone with the shadow. Physical's already nice. Composure's good. Passing's okay. He just naturally is a very, very good centre-back in the game. Power header and leadership as the traits. You will not be disappointed. Now to a slightly very cheaper centre-back who currently is in my team as well. He comes in now at about 3,000 to 4,000 coins at times. 6 to 7 when we do have an SBC that requires 84s. But he's still absolute magic. He's played, as you can see, pretty much the same games as Virgil. We got him very early on, and he again is just an absolute monster. The pace is good. We've gone with the shadow. He's got a good amount of physicality. The composure's there. If you're looking for a very cheap centre-back that definitely does the job, there is many of them. You've still got Koulibaly to go with in the Prem. You then have a few specials that you could go with as well that are a little bit more expensive. But in terms of a cheap duo, you can get both of these cards for just over 80,000 coins, and they'll give you a very good partnership still. I think in general, Varane probably could do with being upgraded now in my team, but most definitely he still puts in the business. So in terms of left backs, we don't actually have that many meta ones in the Prem. Predominantly Ferland Mendy has always been the one that kind of gets brought up in conversation. Alfonso, Theo. In terms of left backs, we have Cancelo, we have Robertson, we have Martinez in this version, and then we also have a Luke Shaw. There is a couple more, but in terms of the top names that you know, they're the ones. Cancelo does have an inform, but I think in general, that one is better as the outer position. This guy is coming in at 65,000 coins. Cancelo's inform, I could imagine is a bit cheaper now, is still 143,000, and personally, I just don't think that the worth is there. I'd much rather go and pay a Furland if you're going to be going upwards of 100k. 65k, little bit of a phenoms on the go. Can obviously be centre-back and CDM in this position change if you wanted. Chemistry-wise, you are looking, I think it's going to be the Shadow, which will give you 88 pace, 93 defending. It's a very good stat. We've got great composure on him. The passing's decent. We've got a good amount of dribbling. And he's got some good physicals already. I think personally for me, that's not a bad left back. He is controlled as well with obviously his work rates, and he doesn't have no traits unfortunately. But for 65,000 coins, I think in terms of Prem, that's going to be your best cheap player. Now on to the first centre mid. It is Bentancur, and he's coming in at 23,000 coins. A 4-star, 5-star. Brilliant for 23,000 coins. Medium, 6'2". We have no traits unfortunately, but the stats are very nice in terms of the defensive. We are looking towards more, I believe, a Shadow or Architect. Shadow would give you a little bit more on that pace, which I think is needed for this card. You'd end up with 83 pace and 92 defending, turning himself into a 90 CDM or 87 centre mid. We've got solid passing. The dribbling's very nice bar from the agility balance, but if we're using him more necessarily on the defensive side and possibly pinging the balls out, you don't really need to take too many people on in that sort of role. And I think for 23k, this card is an absolute gem to get in your team. Unfortunately, there isn't no traits on him, but I think the 4-star, 5-star definitely help him out in that category. Nunez is up next in terms of the 86 centre mid from the Road to World Cup. 86 3-star, a little bit lower than your Bentancur. I think in terms of this card, it's just a very nice all-round card for 43,000 coins. Again, another little special on the go. No traits, which again, I kind of really hope that they update all these traits and just get a little bit more on that, because I feel like some of these cards could be a lot better with even just a couple of traits, and I'm not saying it's going to change their game, but it gives them that little bit more of an element, a bit of flair, a bit of finesse shot and outside of the box, team player, leadership, stuff that makes a card that little bit better. Doesn't necessarily have to be crazy amounts, but 1 or 2 when they don't have any would be quite nice. But this card, great dribbling. Obviously, the defending's solid, physicals are good, passings are solid. You are looking for this one to be more of the box-to-box variety, whereas Bentancur, I would say, is more of your defensive and then centre mid. And in terms of chem style, you're looking at the anchor for this guy if you want to go with that kind of box-to-box mentality. I don't necessarily need too much shooting, but I need him to be able to get the ball back. It'll give him 90 pace, 87 defending, and 89 physical. Again, a very, very top-end card. 89 CDM or 87 CM. Two centre mids, about 60, 70k. I'd take it. Perisic is up next for our cam, and genuinely a very, very solid player from the outer position promo a while back now, and he does have technically one rating that is higher from his team of the tournament, but that one can only be left wing, right mid, right back and right wing. So we've kind of gone with this cam because I feel like he's got a better positional standpoint as such, and one of the better cheap cams that you can get. In terms of his out of position, you're looking at 34,000 coins. He has that 4-star, 5-star, 6'1", and he can be right back, right mid, right wing, but can't be left wing in this one. In terms of traits, we've got flair outside of the foot and team player, and in stats, we're looking pretty good throughout. To say this card was released almost start of the game, about a month in, the card's very nice and well balanced. He's got the skill moves and weak foot. He's very, very cheap in that middle and honestly can offer you a lot going forward. Agility balance could do with some work, and that's why more than likely we'd probably go with the engine more than anything for this one, especially if he is sitting in the middle of the field. He'd end up with 88 pace, 91 dribbling, which takes his balance and agility up to 88 and 86, and he gets 92 passing as well. I think in terms of cams and being cheap, this guy's a perfect runner. So in terms of right wings, there isn't actually many that are very, very cheap, or at least very cheap and good. You could go with the gold Adama, but personally, there is very, very different between being cheap and actually being meta. And personally, the cheapest one you could have got is 307k from Mahrez. He is a very, very top-end right wing. He can be cam, right mid, right wing. And in terms of other positions, other players, in fact, who can be right wing, you have a few versions of Salah, you have Foden, all coming in at the same sort of price. Jesus is 560. Dirk Kuyt, to be honest, is not bad, but personally I would have chosen Mahrez over him, even though they are the same sort of price. Then you've got the likes of Reece James out of position. Personally, I'm not a big fan of him going right wing. I do like him as a right wing back if you went for that role. Then you've got Saka, who's 160. Again, could argue Saka, to be honest. 4-star, 4-star. That's actually not a bad shout. And to be fair, I thought he was always going to be a little bit more expensive. A 4-star, 4-star, left-footed, so wants that cut in on the left. No traits, unfortunately. Loads of pace. Good dribbling throughout, to be honest, and a good pass on him as well. I think, honestly, this card is probably underlooked a little bit, actually. I did think that it'd be more expensive. I wanted to say it would have been 200 to 300, more like Mahrez. But if you whack the Hunter on him, it keeps him explosive, and it will give him 98 pace, 89 shooting. It's not terrible, to be honest. Coming in at 158,000 coins. Again, not a bad option there. So now we're going into the left wing. Even though he's a striker, he can be changed into a left wing, right wing, or centre forward. A 3-star, 4-star. And honestly, he's very much like Adama. He is nothing but pace. 98 on the base gives you plenty of options to go for chemistry styles. And people are obviously opting for the finisher. It'll give you 93 shooting, 93 dribbling. Turns him into a 90 left wing or an 88 rated striker if you really wanted to there. I think in general, this card is coming in really cheap for what he can give you on output. 80,000 coins. He has gone up a little bit in the past few days. I believe Footbin said he's on a 3.5% increase since obviously a few days ago. But I think, again, nice cheap left wing. There is your Sons, there is your Rashfords, but Wilson's another player that you can get. But James is the one to go for left wing. And in terms of striker, Jamie Vardy is the one to go for. We don't really see too many of him nowadays, but he's managed to get himself a foot Centurions last week, and honestly a nice upgrade from him. There is your Haaland, who obviously is coming in a little bit more expensive, and I do think his gold is still very good, but most definitely just a little bit past it now in terms of actually playing him against the top end players. Jamie Vardy, great pace, great shooting, a 4-star, 4-star, which is always beneficial. High medium on the work rate. He's got team player, giant throwing and outside of the foot as the three traits he's got. And in terms of stats, the composure's good, the aggression's good, finishing, pace, all of the above, absolutely fantastic. Engine is the chem style you want to go for, just to add that little bit more of agility balance, which if we do, it keeps him, gets him explosive, in fact. 94 pace, 88 dribbling. The agility balance goes up to 86 and 90. I think for me, that's a very, very well worked striker. 98,000 coins with room to potentially drop if we do manage to get a Foot Centurions SBC or any sort of kind of big supply that kills the demand even more. But in terms of strikers, I personally think Jamie Vardy is one to go for. And that's going to be the team. Nice little cheap meta team. I think in terms of Prem, there's starting to become some nice gaps in there where we can see some really cheap players that have definitely got a lot of play. But there's also players in there that, to be honest, like the left back, don't hold a candle sometimes to Ferland Mendy, to an informed Theo, to any of them specials. So it is kind of based on what you actually want in price. Let me know if you'd like to see maybe the one up and the best Premier League in each position. Let me know down below and make sure you like and subscribe.